How's it going, my friends? This is the very quaint, very cute, sort of main street. It's actually First Ave, but main street of Shakopee, Minnesota. This video is by popular request. I apologize for not having done it sooner. It may be popular request, or it may have been one or two people requesting over and over again. I guess either one. Thank you for your tenacity. I'm excited to show you around Shakopee, Minnesota. Definitely one of the fastest growing, pretty exciting spot. Let's go. How's it going, my friends? My name is Jesse Lynch, and I run the hardest working real estate team in the game. We're called To the Twin Cities, and you can check out our website, tothetwincities.com. But this YouTube channel is all about helping you find a place to call home, a place to land here in the beautiful, albeit a bit frigid today, Twin Cities of Minnesota, today specifically Shakopee, Minnesota. And that's whether you're buying a house for the first time or relocating here from a different city, state, country, or planet. First time home buyers and relocations, that's what we do, and that's what we do better than anybody else. So if either of those things appeal to you, then do us both a favor, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified so you can see every time we put out these very immersive, just the best videos anywhere on the internet about living in the Twin Cities. And as always, not just for my ego, not just for this real estate team and this YouTube channel, but for other folks like yourself, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a thumbs up and leaving a comment of some sort. I'd love to know your thoughts on Shakopee. I'd love to know if you've been here and what your favorite ride is. Yeah, maybe, how about favorite ride anywhere? That'd be just curious. And if you are one of those people who are, buying a house for the first time or moving here from somewhere else, then get a hold of us. We will absolutely crush it for you. We have this relocation thing and this first time home buyer thing absolutely dialed in. So you can go to our website, tothetwincities.com. We have a contact form there that will take you 30 seconds to fill out, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com, and they lead to the same inbox, so it's completely up to you. Side note, I just saw a bald eagle. I love Minnesota. What can I say? There's a lot of bald eagles. I'm into that stuff. Should we dive in right here? Yeah, this is Valley Fair. I have so many childhood memories chilling at Valley Fair. There are a few years where I got like a season pass. We'd come here all the time. There's a bus stop right there, so my parents didn't even have to drive us. Yeah, so many memories. Wild Thing, Excalibur, Corkscrew, Tower of Power. All right, Shakopee, by popular demand, let's go. All right, my friends, right now I'm at Memorial Park. Great little sort of almost like regional park here in Shakopee. Really nice wooded area, a big area. It's not just some little municipal park, although there are some aspects of that, like the playground. But you will very likely know it as the park with a giant helicopter in it, which is right over there. And right alongside here, it's hard to tell because everything is white because it snowed like crazy yesterday, but that is the Minnesota River. And back behind me is a place called Murphy's Landing. It's sort of like a state trail, and there's a lot of trails going on here. Naturally, very often in Minnesota, trails run along rivers just because that's, I don't know, how they work, and it's an effective trail. and nice and scenic. So back over this way is Rice Lake. Again, there's no chance you'll see it because it's gonna look like all the other stuff. And then the highway right here is Highway 101. Just on the other side of that is gonna be sort of the brunt of Shakopee, like the majority of Shakopee. And that's because right here, Minnesota River, and basically Highway 101 are the northern boundary of Shakopee. To the east is the city of Savage, which we have a virtual tour on. To the south, more or less, is Prior Lake. It starts to get a little bit rural once you're kind of beyond Savage to the south, but Prior Lake is there, so I will say that Prior Lake would count as far as I'm concerned. And then to the west it gets very rural, and some of the Minnesota River is also the western boundary of Shakopee. And yeah, I keep mentioning the idea that it's rural, and it's true. It is it's right on the edge of the metro as far as I'm concerned. Once you get out past Shakopee, yeah, you get Prior Lake, and it kind of really starts to turn into a quieter and just more sort of country feel. So Shakopee is kind of right on the cusp of that. And when I was growing up, Shakopee was very much, you know, just like a small town outside of the metro. And you know, basically it was where Valley Fair is, and although I didn't know it, where Canterbury Downs is, which is like a great sort of entertainment place. They have racing and, you know, like gambling and stuff like that at Canterbury. I have a buddy who works there. Shout out. And you're maybe a half an hour to downtown Minneapolis from the heart of Shakopee. Yeah, basically it was exactly a half-hour trip from where I live in downtown. And you're maybe a half hour to the airport, although it's, you know, a different location, but probably about a half an hour, and then maybe 40 minutes to downtown St. Paul. So not the most convenient to downtown, and that's pretty much no traffic for the record, but you will run into traffic if you're going during, you know, peak traffic times. That half hour could turn into 45 minutes probably pretty consistently if you're going during rush hour. Shakopee, because it's on sort of the edge of the metro, which is how our metro is expanding, very much just outward, is a very quickly growing city. The population right now is around 43,000, and that has grown by 15% over the last decade. And you'll see it, right? I'm sure in the B-roll you'll see a lot of pretty new homes are popping up here. It's not like out of control, the growth, right? But it is one of the spots where you're gonna find more affordable new builds popping up, and generally more affordable newer homes. Even if they're not brand new build, they're gonna be, for the most part, you know, relatively new. For the most part, Shakopee is served by Shakopee Public School District, which is ranked quite high. Part of it is served by Burnsville School District, which does not have quite as good of rankings. I think just in general, Burnsville has older facilities and a kind of a greater population. So I think stuff like class sizes are going to be a little bigger in Burnsville, and the facilities again are going to be older, a little more outdated, whereas Shakopee is, you know, it's kind of a newer suburb. And so, you know, the sort of infrastructure as far as schools is generally, God, I just heard a bunch of geese. It literally sounded like a huge crowd of people coming my way. It's not, we're good. Shakopee Senior High School gets an A- according to niche.com, which is hard to argue with. Both of Shakopee's junior high schools, there's East and West, they both get a B+. And then for elementary schools, there's a bunch to choose from, ranging basically from A to like B, but there's a bunch in there, A-, B+, that kind of thing. And I think one thing that is really driving people here with that combination of schools, just the nice nature, and which there truly is, there's a lot of sort of like natural spaces, green spaces, and it almost is like, you know, on the cusp of feeling like you're in the country. And then you sort of combine that with home prices, which median home price is $370,000, which compared to median home price of the metro overall of $350,000 is a little higher, but your homes are going to be considerably newer, considerably bigger here. So that same 370 gets you a lot more house, a lot more yard than you might find in suburbs closer in or in the city proper. My hand is about to fall off, so let's go for a drive, and I'll see you in a second. All right, my friends, right now I'm in a neighborhood that does a really good job of showing kind of the newness that Shakopee has to offer. There's also a German Shepherd that is not thrilled with me being here, so I apologize to that dog. If you're watching this, dog, I'm very sorry. Very sorry for ruining your day. But I want to talk through pros and cons of living here in Shakopee. And again, this is a very nice neighborhood. These houses are all quite large. I think on the small end, I bet we're talking 2,500 square feet. And that's probably like with an unfinished basement, so call it 3,500, something like that. A lot of pretty large houses here. So what are the pros and the cons? You know, pros pretty easy to come up with. For one, I think the landscape here is beautiful. It has the river, right, Minnesota River. There's sort of rolling hills and forested areas and tons of sort of water here in Shakopee. And that's just something a lot of people like. A lot of the people that were helping move to Minnesota, they're like, if we can get a wooded lot, that would be, you know, bonus. That would be the cherry on top. You know, certainly a lake lot or something like that, but there's a premium to be paid for such things. But yeah, there's kind of a lot of that here. It's just an interesting topography that makes for a pretty beautiful area. And then you also have very good schools. Maybe not top 5, right? It's not gonna be like the elite of the elite schools, but they're generally very good. A- kind of on average. Keep in mind the certain sections are served by Burnsville, and those Burnsville schools aren't gonna be rated quite as well as the Shakopee schools. And then there's a plenty of commercial, you know, suburban amenities, suburban staples, and which I'll show you right after this. There's quite a bit of that, right? The big ones, right? Target, Walmart, Home Depot, Best Buy, all here, and then tons of, you know, smaller chains that people kind of come to expect, and truly just no shortage of that at all. And then I think when you combine all those things with the home prices, and then you look at what kind of a house and what kind of a yard the home prices get you, to me, just the value is the #1 reason that a person might want to buy in Shakopee. You get a lot of house, a lot of yard for your money, and you do have the conveniences. But with that, what are the cons? You know, I don't think there's always going to be some cons associated with something that has such like high levels of value. And there's not that many cons though, but there are a couple. The first of which is just basically cons that I associate with being a suburb, right? Which is kind of cookie cutter houses, right? That's not to say there aren't some unique homes here, but for the most part, the majority of the housing stock here is going to be pretty cookie cutter, pretty boilerplate, you know, standard issue suburban style homes. They're great and super livable, but just, yeah, a little, if you're looking for something super unique or like a mid-century house or a craftsman, you're gonna have a harder time finding that here. And then truly the only other con that I can honestly think of is just that it's kind of far away, right? It's kind of far from downtown. It's quite far from downtown St. Paul. And yeah, it's just removed, right? But that's where the value comes in, right? That's why there's so much value, is because it's kind of on the outskirts. But no traffic at all. We're talking 30 minutes to downtown Minneapolis. With traffic, 45, right? Something like that. Crazy traffic, maybe an hour, but that's probably highly uncommon. Would require like a crash or something like that. And a lot of the folks that we're helping are coming from markets where traffic is insane. I've had a shocking amount of people say that their current commute where they live is 2 hours. What? Like you could live in Duluth almost here and do 2-hour commute. No, that commute might suck, but put a lot of miles on your car for sure. But nonetheless, you know, half hour, 45 minutes is not bad for a lot of people. That's like completely within the realm of, you know, being doable. So I don't know, you be the judge. Let's hop over to the commercial area, and I'm gonna tell you some spots to consider if you like what you see here in Shakopee. All right, my friends, here we are in a commercial district of Shakopee, which there are a few. Shakopee has a pretty good amount of commercial spaces. It's not maybe on the same vein as Woodbury or maybe a Maple Grove or something like that, but there's a lot to choose from and just a lot of like conveniences and the suburban staples that one might come to expect. And before I dive into some other areas that you might want to check out, if you like what you see here in Shakopee, I would just like to say that if you are moving here, we would love to be the ones who help you get here. We'd love to be the people who help you find the right home in the right neighborhood for the right price for your budget. And so if you go to our website, tothetwincities.com, we have a contact form there that you can fill out literally in moments, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com. They lead to the same inbox, so it is completely up to you however you do it. Oh, real quick, let me just kind of show you around. It's not just a movie theater, although pretty solid movie theater, if I do say so myself. We got a Caribou and a Einstein Bagels, Chipotle, Chili's, Starbucks, Five Guys. There's a Best Buy, a Home Depot, and a whole slew of other stuff. So what are some other spots that you might want to consider? I think geographically there are a few that are very close to here that come to mind right away. Savage being the first one that comes to mind. Maybe Chaska comes to mind as having similarities and geographically similar. Prior Lake, obviously a little further removed, but beautiful and full of nature. To the east, the southeast, maybe check out a Rosemont or something like that. And then to the north, I'm thinking spots like Ramsey, Minnesota has just a lot of the same characteristics of it being sort of the path of progress. A lot of new builds are going in, and you get pretty good value for your money in a place like Ramsey. But those are the ones that come to mind. I'm sure there are others that will do the trick, so get a hold of us and we'll help you talk through what that is, depending on your lifestyle and budget and all that. And as always, if you're new here or have not done so yet, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified so you can see every time we put out these videos. And if you would, if it wouldn't kill you, if you'd give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment of any sort, I would appreciate it so much. And hey, we did it. This has been a virtual tour of Shakopee. If you're one of the lovely folks in the comments asking for it, I hope you enjoy, and we look forward to seeing you and look forward to showing you around and helping you find your home here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.